Coaches of the Year and two members of their of an Athletics Hall of Fame. So at this time, I would certainly like to again thank you guys for joining in and invite you guys to follow along with comments in the chat. You can do that on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Just simply put in a comment, and we'll be able to share that with the panel. And again, thank you for joining us. But to be honest with you, you guys don't want to listen to me talk, so I'd love to get our panel to introduce themselves, share a little bit about what's going on with them, and we'll go ahead and get started today. Again, like I said, please feel free to be interactive with us and comment when you have a question or just a thought that you'd like to share with the panelists. So we'll go ahead and we'll start the introductions, and we'll start ladies first. So we'll go newest Warhawk to I guess oldest senator, I guess, is what we'll do. So Tanya, if you'll go ahead and get us started, that'd be great.
Okay, well, hi everyone. I'm going to be a senior this fall at AUM, so I've been on the tennis team for the past 3 years. And I'm currently in Munich, Germany, living with my family, and I'm excited to come back in August.
I think that might be actually me going next. Hi, I'm Kelly, Kelly Southward. So I was part of the tennis team, graduated in 2017. So now I'm based in Wellington, New Zealand at 8 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, just working at KPMG and management consulting here, but I'm excited to be on this call.
Coach Moore?
It's me. Hi, this is Jimena Moore. I am currently in Montgomery, Alabama. I play at AUM and graduated in 2001. And I'm excited to be on this call. And I want to thank you, Nancy, for recruiting me.
Well, Jimena, I'm just sorry I didn't get the opportunity to coach you, but I know you did well, and congratulations on an awesome career, and now certainly coaching, which is just amazing. My name is Nancy Harris, and I'm kind of the grandmother. I'm the oldest, and I came there in 1989, and then coached all the way through 97 and left in 1997, and had the privilege of coaching both our men's and women's teams, and just some tremendous memories. And Auburn Montgomery is dear to my heart, and it's just an incredible experience. So it's an honor to be on the call and to be with all of y'all.
We'll flip it with the introduction of the men. Michael, if you'd like to start us off as the veteran of the panel from the male side, we would appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. My name is Michael Johnson. I was on the team from 2007 through 2010, and this is my son, Michael III. We call him Trey. My wife, Allie, is in the middle of a Zoom psychiatry. She's a psychiatrist, psychiatry appointment. So I'm doing double duty, and Trey loves these types of Zoom meetings, anything that he can look at himself. So hopefully he'll play along nicely. But I'm excited to do this, excited to talk to you guys and reminisce a little bit. I had an amazing experience at AUM, and it's taking me very far. So look forward to it.
Nico?
Okay, yeah, I'll go next. So my name is Nicholas Pinones. I played for AUM 2012 through 2015. Since it feels like ages ago, but it wasn't that long ago. I'm currently in my last year of medical school here at Auburn. So the fate took me, keeping me pretty close to Montgomery. But yeah, just it's an honor to be here with all these AUM legends, and thank you to Yair for inviting me and Tim for organizing. So very excited to be here, guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Francisco Jimenez. I will be senior next year. I'm currently in Miami, Florida, and thank you, Orlando, for recruiting me, and thank you, Jay, for coaching me. I'm excited to be in the call.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm Rolando Vargas. I was the coach there, 2010 to 2017. Amazing memories, amazing players, amazing staff, amazing support. Thank you for the invite, Yair. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Nancy, for what you did for AUM. Thank you, Jimena. We also were in touch a lot in Montgomery. So it's an honor and privilege to be with you all at this time. I'm currently here in Troy, Alabama.
Congratulations.
Well, the last one. First of all, just after everybody went, it just makes me excited of being on this call. Jair Bonello is the tennis coach. I've been here since 2017. This would have been my third season among Tonya and Francisca. I think we arrived here in the same year. And yeah, I'm so honored, and have the privilege to be the head coach at the UM. All of you did amazing things. Since I remember the first day when I came for the interview, I just look at the walls or the trophies and the names of coach of the year, all American, national championship. I take that as, I definitely don't take it for granted. So it's just an honor to be here and just share, even if it's 60 minutes of just chatting is gonna be fun.
Awesome. Well, now everybody that's watching has an idea of our panel. Our athletic director has already chimed in and emphasized the fact that this is a panel of goats. These are some of the greatest of that have come through AUM tennis, and also our sports information director Jacob Horton says he thinks it's illegal to assemble this much greatness in one setting. So you guys have certainly made your mark in AUM history, and we're excited to talk a little bit about it. Just real quick too, while I'm taking a look here at the chat, Nico, Katie Spain says hello. She says your name in all caps with a bunch of exclamation points. So a student athlete from your time. I know that she is off doing great things. Also, I believe in the medical field as well. So she said she didn't specifically say hi, but exclamation points and a bunch of all caps pretty much means that she was excited to see you. So let's go ahead and get started talking a little bit. And my first question really is just kind of more for our current student athletes and Coach Benuelos, and just how COVID has really impacted everything. Obviously, you guys were able to start your season, and then it got cut so abruptly short. And Coach Harris, you might be able to chime in on this as well, just simply, all of our coaches, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, just talk a little bit about that feeling of, obviously the moment you found out, and what, just the way that it kind of punched you in the gut a little bit.
Well, I can start. For me personally, the most shocking part of when COVID-19 really hit, it was just to see the reaction of the faces in our student athletes. Something that it was really hard for us, like AUM and this generation. It was like for the last 3 years. I mean, Tonya and Francisco, they got here in 2017. We've been working to the transition to becoming a full Division II institution, and it was finally our year, and we had some in the previous season. We had some close matches, and we were competing really well, but there was not that. We didn't have that opportunity to compete in the conference tournament or play for a postseason, and it was finally the year, and obviously this unfortunate situation happened that it was very, very disappointing to say the least, but obviously there are bigger things going around, and I think we all understood what was happening. But I remember being in Tallahassee, Florida, just waiting to hear what's more about the whole situation, and we were in a restaurant just eating, and watching the news, and when they canceled the NCAA basketball tournament, they were like, "Whoa, this is actually hitting." So it was at that moment. I remember Fran asked me, "Hey, what do you think this is gonna mean?" And I was like, "Well, it's just a matter of time that everything is gonna get canceled." So I remember that part.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'll speak for Joe as well. I mean, for us, it was really devastating for our team. We had four freshmen on this team, and they were all doing really well. And like y'all had a beautiful team, and everyone truly excited. And we were at a point in our season, obviously March 12th, I think it was, where they stopped us, and we were getting ready to get on a bus to go to, I believe, Boston, and had just celebrated some birthday parties in the locker room, and very excited. And then our kids got that news, and it was really it was pretty devastating. Our team had just began to sort of turn a corner, and we were playing some of the best schools in the country in our division, and had just lost some 4-3 matches to teams that were, the seven losses that we had were, five of them were in their top 10 in the country, and three were in the top five. And of course, our freshmen, as you know, the freshmen don't know any difference between who's what and where. And they were just, each of them were beginning to break through. And for me, it was very bittersweet, because the 2 years prior to that, we had been building a facility. And so our players had not been able to train, which was very hard on them. So there was really no development. And so, speaking from the players' perspective, it just got my heart, because they had been through so much, like you all. Here you are, and all that transition year, and it's sort of the same story. And so I was, for them, I was so disappointed. And but they're all excited and hoping to come back to this next year and do very well. And I couldn't be more excited for them, as I am for you guys here in the coming year. Maybe I'm a big believer that all things work together for good, and there are reasons why these things happen. And we were just very fortunate, and have been fortunate, to not have any of our players or family members get this. And so, we're looking for that silver lining, and hopefully, Alvin Montgomery and the current school of Clemson, where I am, will go on and do great things. And I know they will. I know you guys will. I just have great confidence in you, dear, and the future. So hopefully all of this, there'll be some good that comes out of this for everyone.
Well, I can go next. I mean, my experience was pretty similar to Coach here. I mean, I heard about COVID in the news the weeks before, but I didn't actually think that the impact would be as bad as it turned out to be. I mean, I was really looking forward to the matches we were going to have in spring break. We hadn't really gotten into conference yet. I think we played about one or two conference teams, so we were basically in the very beginning of the entire season. And then when we were in Tallahassee, we got the information that we were supposed to stay where we were and wait until there was going to be a decision made about our season. And I wasn't expecting it at all. I wasn't expecting our season to be canceled or anything else. So it was just a shock for me, and I don't think I actually really realized it until like a couple of days later, and then everything went super fast, and yeah, now we're here.
Yeah, same here. Like I remember we went to Valdosta 1st of March, and the coronavirus cases were like growing in the States. And 2 weeks later, I was in the airport with the season canceled, classes canceled, and everything. It was just such shock. Like mainly because of the postseason thing. Like we were so excited to play postseason for the first time, and then out of nowhere, like season canceled. It was pretty big deal. Like we were all sad and stuff. So well, I think next year.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good thing about the sportsmen. You're always going to get a rematch one way or another. So you guys will get your
Yeah.
opportunity soon enough. but that doesn't take away from actually losing it
Yeah.
now. But silver linings, right?
Absolutely. I'm curious to hear, from a perspective of non-athletic related, how did the COVID virus impact you guys from a business standpoint, from a learning standpoint, whatever it may be? I'm just kind of curious how that really sent waves through your lives as well.
So I'll take this one real quick. So for me, it was really interesting because when all of this started coming up, like the end of Christmas, beginning of January, really we started hearing about it. I was in my third year of medical school, which is the year where you are doing your clinicals, you're in the hospital, you're in the clinic. So we got to hear things about this pretty early on. But when things got ugly, our school pulled us out of the rotations because they knew that they were going to run out of protective equipment. So in a way, we kind of got benched as medical students because they the critical care people are going to need all the resources they have, and the hospitals just weren't in a position to protect us in that regard. And since we're still learning a lot about this virus, we they were like, we're going to play it safe and, have you guys stay at home. So in my case, I actually ended up losing my OBGYN rotation, which I was really looking forward to deliver some babies. And I lost my geriatrics, which it's the at-risk population, of getting the most severe type of the disease. So I've been in my apartment studying for my last round of board exams for the last couple months, getting tired of this four walls. So I'm trying to creep into some as coffee shops start opening, trying to run to some of those. Katie Spain is probably wondering, if I took them already, because because me and her, Katie is a softball player at AUM too, another AUM legend, and she's in med school with me, so we're going through the same right now. But yeah, that's kind of affected me.
So follow up. So I started a solo law practice in August of 2019, and I was working out of my home anyways. So for me, it was a nice transition because there wasn't a lot of change. I have a 10-year-old son who was on the call for a while, but he's playing down there right now. But it became a little bit more difficult for my wife and I to manage. We had a nanny that would come at least a few days a week to kind of help out, make my work and her work a little bit easier, but we weren't able to do that. So we've had to get a little more creative. My wife is in her fourth year of residency. She's finishing up over the next couple of weeks, and we're moving to Wisconsin. So we've also bought and sold a couple of houses during the COVID lockdown, just kind of weird. We bought a house in Milwaukee area without having ever seen it, because getting back and forth and going inside and outside of the house were kind of difficult. So we're actually closing remotely tomorrow. So we'll go to the house this weekend without having ever seen it. So I think that's a rather unique COVID thing. But for my work, practicing law, a lot of my work has gone remote. So remote hearings, remote meetings with clients, that sort of thing. But I feel like it was already trending that way anyway. So maybe COVID has sped it up or made it a little bit more accepted for some folks who are maybe trying to fight that trend.
I can jump in here. So here in New Zealand, we're kind of back to normal life now, which is a bit strange. So we went, as everyone else, we went into lockdown. So there was no flights into New Zealand, no flights domestically. And then a few weeks ago, we've actually all gone back to the way things were before. So I'm back in the office now. And back onto the client sites and actually traveling for work again around New Zealand. So it's crazy to think that we've gone back to a somewhat normal world, but it's definitely taken an impact on business and getting Zoom all the time. But yeah, it's kind of nice to have the face-to-face meetings again and those types of things.
So Rolando and Jimena, as parents, I'm kind of curious from from a perspective. I know Michael kind of mentioned, bringing in some help while he and his wife are doing the day-to-day operations. How has being a parent affected you guys from a work-at-home standpoint?
I'll jump first. And actually, it was a really good transition. Actually, something that um, it was good for our family. It was healthy. It was needed for all of us who are coaches now. Balancing lives at times can be hard, and sometimes, or many times, you put your players, your team ahead of your family because you love coaching and you love what you do. So having this time to sit back and to think and to be with family has been a blessing in my case, and I'm loving it because I'm having to spend a lot of time with my daughter and my husband. And I have the privilege at my work too that we can continue to recruit, continue to work from home, doing some meetings. It has also teaching us to get out of the box and be creative. And we never thought about recruiting through Zoom meetings. And it's been fantastic because we can see the players' emotions and faces, and rather than talking on the phone and not seeing each other face to face. So it's been very positive during this time. The school where my daughter goes to has been very good with the classes and everything online. They really put it online really quick, and we finished the year without any issues or any delays with homework. So I have to say it's pretty sad the moment that we're living on. But for my personal life, it's been great. It's been a time where we needed, I think, all of us to take a break and don't take things for granted.
Yeah,
Rolando, you're
for
on.
me it was
There you
definitely a little different. You know, I wasn't used to see my kids in the house because they go to school in Elba, which is like 45 minutes away, and then my wife's a teacher, and then all of a sudden she had to also uh, do some calls with the little kids, and then I'm with my son the whole day, and there is he just turned 7, so he's just wrecking the house the whole time, and it just puts things in perspective, makes you put things in perspective because then now you have your family with you. And yeah, it was very difficult for all us coaches to kind of go through what we went through, the same for the student athletes and for the athletic departments. But also, it was good on the side of the family, so uh, I also like getting in touch with the players in a daily basis, just checking how they're doing, just like Jimena said, doing Zoom calls and just trying to stay close with them. And, you know, this is only going to make us all stronger whenever things get back to normal. Hopefully, in August, we can start having our players back. And if not, just kind of get ready for spring. But this is just going to make all of us, especially in the world of tennis, stronger.
Awesome. A couple of quick shout outs that I saw on the chat. Some former Warhawks chiming in. Atman Lalami, also David Pontovic, David Southwood. Kelly, I believe that may be your dad. He put a tennis go Kelly with a tennis ball and a kissy face. And then Scotty Wilkes, our assistant softball coach, just talked about AUM legends in med school, talking about obviously Nico and Katie. And then this one was for Jair from Jacob Horton. Just wanted to know your thoughts on having the third best beard on the staff behind Ryan and
yeah.
But with that being said, thanks for indulging the conversation about the just the harsh reality of what COVID was and still is, and what we're having to deal with now. But I'd really like to kind of change directions if we can, and maybe talk a little bit about some things that are uplifting, as opposed to the hurt of losing time on a playing surface, or time with your teammates or your student athletes, or whatnot. So really, I guess what I'd like to do is maybe just kind of steer an individual conversation with each of you, if I could, and take just a couple of minutes with each of you, and then we'll get into kind of the quick fire round that we had talked about a little bit, where going to put you on the spot in the hot seat for a couple of seconds. But Coach Harris, we'll start with you if we can. Obviously, congratulations on a wonderful tenure at Clemson. I know that it's bittersweet for you, with your retirement, but I can only imagine the countless lives that you have been able to impact at Clemson. I know that you've impacted a lot at AUM, and even in your previous stop. So congratulations first and foremost on an incredibly successful career at Clemson. One of the questions that I did want to mention to you, it's funny, I said we're going to go toward a positive side of things, but I wanted to mention Coach Dunleavy. He's kind of the father of AUM tennis. He was the first ever men's head coach we had here, and obviously you and he had an opportunity to work together. And unfortunately, he has passed here in the last couple of months due to a neurological disorder. But I have no doubt, having had mentors in my career, that Coach Dunleavy was a great mentor and friend to you. And I just wondered if you would be willing to talk a little bit about that. Coach, you're on mute.
There we go. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Really, Coach Dunleavy is the reason that I'm in coaching, or was in coaching during that time. He and Larry Chapman, who was the basketball coach and the athletic director at the time, sort of recruited me as we recruit athletes. And he really was a mentor. On a very happy note, if you had the privilege of knowing Coach Dunleavy, he had just this great sense of humor. And Michael, I don't know if you knew him. Did you know him? Oh my gosh, he was so funny, and he would joke, and he would say something, and about 10 seconds later, you'd realize what he said, and you would be dying laughing. And so anyhow, it was because of him that I came to Auburn Montgomery and Coach Chapman. And so I thought, okay, well, we go to these staff meetings, I'll sit next to Coach Dunleavy, because Coach Chapman was the athletic director. So we'd have one every week. And so for about the first 4 or 5 meetings, I would be sitting next to him, and Coach Chapman would be telling a story, or he would be very serious, and he would say these one-liners he would be joking, and of course I would burst out laughing, and I just got to where I had to sit on the opposite side because he was so funny and just always upbeat. And then I was there for probably 4 or 5 years. And he was getting ready to step down from the coaching. And of course, all his men loved him and looked up to him as I did. And he was like, Nance, he says, we got to get this salary halfway decent. And so at that time, when I was the women's coach, I mean, you were making $11,000 a year. It was nothing. So I was having to teach all the time on the side. And so then Coach Chapman said, would you like to be sports information director? So Tim, I was doing sports information and women's tennis. And then finally, Coach Dunleavy was like, look, let's take the 2 salaries, men and women, and put them together. And I was very taken back. One, that both of these great men believed in me and felt that I could be a men's coach. And it ended up, we just ran with it, and I loved my guys. And my memories at Auburn Montgomery and all my time there with Coach Dunleavy, I mean, we were fortunate to win 2 championships in '95 and '96, and just very special moments. And as you guys, I think Auburn Montgomery is so blessed to have such fine people. And, you know, all the championships and the championship rings and all the success, it is really incredible. But what makes it even more incredible is the people that you share your time with. And Coach Dunleavy was one of those. Even after he stepped down as the coach, he always wanted to help me. He would go on trips, and we would laugh and cut up. And I'll tell one last thing because I can talk forever. My players will tell you that. So anyhow, we were on one trip, and I was following Coach Dunleavy in the van, you know, and I tended to drive a little fast. And so anyhow, we were driving down the road, and I looked in front of me, and I was like, "Where's Coach Dunleavy?" And my players were like, "You passed him about 5 minutes ago." So when we got back to the campus, I felt so badly. But again, he was always joking and full of joy. And his daughter actually played for us, Leanne Dunleavy, and was #1 player from Alabama. She could have gone anywhere in the country, and she chose to play for Auburn Montgomery. So we were privileged to have her on our team. And then the boy that she fell in love with was on our men's team, Francois Bozeman, who was also just a superstar from South Africa. And to this day, they're so sweet. They'll send me a Christmas card, and they have a beautiful family. And so I think that that's probably, you know, the thing that we all share, even though there were different athletes and different coaches in different times. I think that Auburn Montgomery tennis and the tradition and the love for each other and the times that we shared were just so incredibly special. And Coach Dunleavy was really a big part of that and got that going. And so I owe him so much, not only my career, but just a tremendous thanks for his friendship and his family. His wife is also just a fine, fine person. I know they're suffering, and but they're dear, dear people, and he is a legend in my book. And all of us here have our roots in Coach Dunleavy's. It was his vision that you know, we could have great tennis at Clemson. It was because of him. He drove all of that. So it is a loss that some of you don't feel because you never knew him. But what a great man.
Well, I had the opportunity myself to meet Coach Dunleavy at a Hall of Fame banquet where we were inducting a class in the Hall of Fame, and obviously the interaction that he had was very similar. He was very quick-witted. He had a smile on his face and was just excited about seeing people that had gone, you know, had been a part of his past, and you know, that whether it was one interaction or it was 100 interactions, he felt the same connection to those people. So as you mentioned, Coach, just a tremendous loss, but a tremendous you know, pillar of AUM tennis, and I felt that it was you know, certainly appropriate to mention him and the contributions that he's made with our panel today. So thank you for sharing that with about Coach Dunleavy. And Coach, also wanted to just kind of brag on you for a little bit for some of our listeners. If I can tell that head shake was like, please don't, but no, let's celebrate you for a moment if we can. Coach, your women's team that won the first national title here at AUM was the first ever women's team in the state of Alabama to win a national title. And based off of the research that I was able to do, you're still the only female coach to ever win a national title coaching both men and women. So congratulations on that. And, you know, just, you know, again, we can't thank you enough for what you mean to AUM tennis and to all the athletes that you've had an opportunity to mentor throughout your coaching career. So.
Well, thank you. And it's thanks to Coach Dunleavy and Coach Chapman, really. It really is. You know, I think it certainly for women, and Jimena, you'll see this, and all of you, I hope you're great supporters of women. But, you know, women can do great things, and they just need an opportunity. And in fact, Tim, when they told me that, I was like, you got to be kidding. I would have thought that happened 100 years ago. So I was shocked. I really was. I was so surprised to hear that. And so I'm, you know, I'm a big believer in women, and I love both my men and my women. I really did. It was just a privilege, you know, and they're all over the world. As you guys are from all over the world, it's really wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll bounce around a little bit. Michael, I'd like to go to you if I can. It looks like Trey is out of the picture for a moment, so he's entertained. I understand.
We'll see.
I've got 3 children at home, so when you have an opportunity to take advantage of it, you probably should do it. So I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about one, just kind of your transition from the tennis courts to law school. I feel that that's an incredibly compelling transition in my mind. And then also, I kind of wanted to know how much you play still, just simply given the amount of time that I'm sure being a lawyer takes. Do you still have time to get out and compete?
Not as much as I want. I oddly had more time during law school than I have during fatherhood. So I feel like the second one was a little bit busier than the first. But yeah, to your first question, for me, so when I graduated from AUM in 2010, I got a job as a graduate assistant coach at Tulane University and coached the women's team. It was an assistant coach. So I did that for 1 year, and I'd already taken the LSAT and wanted to go to law school, and I applied to Tulane and was able to get in. So I started there in 2011. I'll say the real competitive side about practicing law, being a litigator, and going through law school, to me, felt quite familiar after competing in college. I felt like a lot of the experiences that we go through, maybe the additional added stress that we put on ourselves because we want to succeed, both is recreated in law school and may serve us very well in law school. So for me, I enjoyed it very much. I feel like in the practice of law, I really enjoy the in-person performance aspect of it. If I have to go to court and argue motions or in depositions or in trials, I feel like my experiences on the court in competing give me maybe a little bit of an edge. I enjoy that performance aspect. So I felt like my transition into the practice of law was maybe a little bit more smooth than others. I tried to play enough tennis. I was on a tennis league, a Wednesday night tennis league, and was doing that for quite a while. I don't get to compete as much as I want. I think my UTR has gone to like unknown at this point because not enough matches. So I need to, once this COVID goes away, then I need to get that going again. Need to get it caught back up. So moving to Wisconsin, it's indoor tennis, so I got to learn how to do that. Not my favorite, but at least in Wisconsin, every day is a tennis day. There are no rain days or days where you can't play. So I'll have to learn about that.
That's certainly that's a great approach to take with it, because I was sitting there thinking that outdoor tennis you were only going to have about 5 to 6 months where you could play out of the year, as opposed to in New Orleans where you could probably play every day.
Yeah, in New Orleans it rains a lot, and there's hurricanes and a lot of flooding, so there's a lot of times where we can't play. So maybe I'll even get to play more when it's indoors every day. So we'll see. Hopefully it works out.
That's awesome. Well, Michael, congratulations on your success with law school and practicing, and certainly look forward to keeping you in touch with what's going on at AUM moving forward.
Thank you so much. I wanted to just piggyback off of one thing that Nancy said about how the coaches and the atmosphere of AUM kind of continues through the generations, even though they might not know. Even though Coach Dunleavy was retired and not coaching anymore, I had a very close relationship with him in 2007. He hadn't coached in, was that 10 or 15 years at that point, but he was out at all of the matches. And actually my first year I redshirted, I wasn't playing all the matches. So I was standing next to him and watching a lot of them and cheering. And I'll say Nancy's explanation is spot on. His one-liners were incredible. Very, very quick-witted, but so supportive. Having to sit on the sidelines and kind of watch for a year was not something I was really prepared to do, and it was kind of stressful for me. And he was so supportive. He did a great job of putting it into perspective. My coach, Anook Christians and Scott Kidd, they both brought him out to talk to us from time to time, and he always had great things to tell us. So even though maybe the newest folks don't know who this is or maybe haven't met him, it kind of flows through the generations, flows through the coaches for sure, and really adds something to AUM's history.
Terrific. Thank you, Michael. My next question is for our current student athletes, Tanya and Francisco. I'm curious what you guys have been doing to stay active. Obviously, with some quarantine and potentially some shelter in place that you guys might be dealing with. What are some things that you guys are doing to stay active? So, as you said, that feeling of coming back when school opens back up. What are you guys doing so that when you hit the ground running, you guys are ready to go and ready to compete for those championships that were taken away at the last spring?
Well, I can go first. About 2 months ago, when everything was in lockdown, it was a little more difficult than it is now. We were basically not allowed to leave our houses unless we wanted to go on a walk or on a run or grocery shopping. So I tried to stay fit doing home workouts and going on a run. So I actually did that on a daily basis. I did a home workout and then I went on a run in the afternoon. I didn't really have anything to do other than that, so it was pretty easy to keep up. And then about 6 weeks ago or so, tennis courts opened up again. So I've been able to hit in the past 6 weeks, and I've really been taking advantage of that. I stopped doing all the home workouts and I hit the courts rather than doing that. So I do that a couple of times a week. I'm not able to do it like every day, but since tennis is one of the few sports that are allowed currently here in Germany, everybody wants to play, so it's not hard to find a hitting partner at all. The courts are full all the time, and everybody's willing to play it every time, and it's really been easy to kind of stay on the court and stay fit.
I mean, as Tanja said at the beginning, first 2 months, it was just like, I mean, resting, I guess. Like I was kind of injured as well in my elbow, so I couldn't do much. And then I'm in Miami, so the gym started open like 1 week ago, so I'm starting to go to the gym. But it is like really difficult to find a hitting partner because the courts are like far away and it's difficult to get there and like everyone's trying to play and it's difficult to find a spot. So yeah, I am doing like home workouts and stuff, and then yeah, I'll be ready for fall coach. Don't be mad at me.
We did have a question came in from one of our current student athletes, Mohammed Bedwan, a freshman here at AUM. Well, he'll be a rising sophomore now, but his question was directed toward you, Nico. What advice do you have for a college tennis player who also plans to go to medical school? He said, what, things like balancing things out and et cetera. So.
Yeah, so the first thing I'd say is that you gotta really prioritize your time. So you're committed to the sport, you're committed to the team, you're committed to the program, and you gotta show up. You cannot neglect that part, but also you have to understand that when practice is over, you gotta go and study and learn your organic chem and biochem and get really creative. Like I remember writing and doing organic chem flashcards in the bus, going to on spring break, and it's really hard to handwrite on a bus. But you got to have that grit to understand that those two legs, both tennis and school, they come before anything. So I'd say that's the first thing, and then the second is myself. I took everything very serious all the way from school to my tennis. while at AUM. So I say also don't forget to enjoy things a little bit. I wish I would have enjoyed myself a little bit more in terms of like um, spending some more time with the guys out like when we weren't playing. Do some make sure you spend time team bonding, but also understand that those two things take precedence. Yeah. So you gotta have a lot of grit because it's hard.
Nico, we'll continue talking a little bit. I know that just having talked with you a little bit, you have family members that were also collegiate tennis players. How did that I know that your sister played at Georgia Gwinnett, I believe, and I believe you had a brother that played as well. How did that push you internally? Was there any internal competition there to where I want to be better than brother, sister, or how did that work? Did that add any pressure to you, or
100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. So first of all, yes, you're right. My sister did play for Georgia Gwinnett. She won a national title there. And then my brother, he played for Georgia Southwestern, which I think is in your conference now. Um, so I come from a tennis family. My parents didn't actually play, but all four of us siblings play. Uh, all three of them have some connection to tennis by coaching or doing business with tennis. And I'm actually the one that's furthest from tennis right now. But the motivation was, who can do better, like who wins more matches. And then when we get back home during the breaks, it was essential that I needed to beat my sister and my brother. Um, so that was the fun part from it. But it was. But what I'll say too is, thanks to my brother who was a couple years older than me, he guided me and mentored me into collegiate tennis and how things work and how you're supposed to carry yourself. So I was lucky to have his guidance and of course Rolando's, my coachy, and then I was able to do that for my sister. So that was a really nice aspect for that. Yeah.
that's awesome. So bragging rights are definitely active in your house.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Amina, let's jump over to you. Obviously, you transitioned from a player at AUM here to a collegiate coach yourself, and I'm just kind of curious how if you felt like you always wanted to be a coach, or if that was something that kind of was an opportunity that you took advantage of, and how that's kind of obviously give you some time to brag about yourself. I know your history at Huntington, having had the opportunity to work for you or work with you for 4 years, but maybe not everybody who is as familiar with the success that you've had with the women's team over at a Division III school where you don't have athletic scholarship that you can offer.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, I, I think it was an opportunity. I first came to AUM for the opportunity to play, and I want to again thank you, Nancy, for recruiting me. Without you recruiting me, we have not been at AUM, and I dearly love AUM with my passion, my heart, the memories, the experiences, and everything, especially the the adoptive parents that we still have. That was amazing, and I to this day remember them. Having opportunity to meet with them on weekends was fantastic. So everything about AUM was great. The coaches that I had during my time there taught me many valuable lessons, like Nick says, about time management, about work ethic, and about giving your best and training to the best of your ability and doing everything for the team. And every success that we had was a team effort. And so all those things kind of mold me, honestly, to be the coach that I am today. I I studied business and with a concentration in marketing. And my plans, honestly, were to come back home and marry someone that I was seeing there. But when the opportunity came and I was offered the opportunity to coach the women's teams and be the assistant at Huntington, I definitely took it. I definitely I'm also very competitive. I'm very open to listen to things. So as a player, had a wonderful time, and I wanted to give my experience to these younger generations and to see what it feels to be a coach and be on the other side of the arena. And the moment that I step on the court and I start seeing the interaction and coaching the girls, fell in love with coaching. Just it's been so rewarding through all these years to coach these young girls and to mentor them through those years, to teach them right and wrong, and to coach them to do the right thing always. To teach them those values that I learned through my career at AUM. That time management is super important, not only on the field but in your professional career. Being on time is very important. Respecting each other. So I started using those, and that is what has led me to all these, I guess, successes during my career at Huntington, and have a wonderful um, um, administration there, very supportive, and I cannot speak anything of that, but just great things because the girls especially have made it all fantastic and great so that the program continue to be successful. And I can only thank AUM, my coaches, everybody there that mold me who I am. And to this day, I love what I do. And I believe God gave me the opportunity to be a coach and mentor these generations before me too.
Well, I think it's safe to say you've done an outstanding job. I know that I guess it was just a couple of I guess a little over a year ago, we were able to formally induct you into the Athletics Hall of Fame here. And I don't remember the exact, but I know that you've had winning records every year at Huntington and several postseason tournament appearances. And I was lucky enough to be a part of one of those. I think it may have been your very first one when we went.
I want to thank AUM and the committee for this great honor and this uh, such such an honor. I never expected. Um, uh, I just want to thank all my coaches again and the team. Without the team, not all this would have happened. Not all this would have happened. So I'm just very honored and humble to have been able to be selected and receive this prestigious award. So I can not thank AUM and for it. I'm very humble about it.
That's awesome. Well, our Hall of Fame certainly got stronger with your induction. There's no doubt about that. So, Kelly, let's transition to you. We talked about Hamina a little bit about how she was able to lead a team to the NCAA tournament. You were a veteran on a team of relatively young players, freshman players. Tanya, I believe your freshman year overlapped with Kelly's final year, and that's not right.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, well, I believe Kelly, were you were on the team that was the first team that was ranked within the NCAA, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, talk about that and setting that benchmark of, obviously we've talked a lot about the history within the program and the history that had been accomplished, but talk about that piece of the puzzle as well, about how that transition from NAI to Division II, and now for the first time ever, AUM is ranked, on a national and regional level within the women's tennis program.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was quite a change going from the NAIA. So my first 2 years, we got to go to nationals, and it was great that we got the national title in 2015. So transitioning to the NCAA Div 2 was, I mean, it was quite similar in a way because we were still playing a lot of the same universities because we were balancing it with both NAIA, some Div 1s, and in Div 2 as well. So I think like the difference was, yes, the level definitely did jump, which meant that as a team, we really had to train a little bit harder and just be like a little bit more focused in terms of just every match wasn't really a gimme. So yeah, it was. We still had the same trips, went to Florida each year, which was so much fun. And then just, I guess, like as a team and stuff, I had the same team pretty much all the years that I was there. So it was kind of nice to go through and actually graduate with a lot of the girls that I came in within freshman year or sophomore year. And I know that they're all doing amazing things at the moment. And then having coach all the way through was just like, it was so much fun. Like I miss college. I absolutely loved it. And I think it was great to get the ranking in Div 2 and just the girls and just having the same team and things. So, and it was nice to kind of finish there in senior year and just having like a whole new team. And it seems like you guys, the ones that you're there at the moment, it seems like you've got a great bondage between your team, and it's nice that you can all go through the same things together and kind of just you'll all graduate similar times as well. So it'll be it's awesome.
Terrific. Well, Coach Vargas, we saved you for last because I was told to keep you on a stopwatch. I'm kidding. So we don't want to talk about tennis with you. I want to know more about what prompted you to get into skateboarding.
I always skated when I was, 12 years old, 13 years old, and being a tennis player, you practice, 3 hours a day. Everybody knows that you miss a lot of parties with your friends or birthdays and whatnot. And, for me, it became kind of, a good stress reliever, because skateboarding in a way is similar to tennis because you're on your own and every trick you try to do, you challenge yourself. So, every time I was like practicing playing tennis and then, maybe I didn't do so good in a tournament or whatnot, then I would get on my skateboard and kind of forget about tennis, but also kind of try to do a trick, try to do something. I had to be really careful not to get injured, but I did it for like 4 years, and I did get injured a few times. It was a bummer, but I think it gave me a good balance to not get burned out with tennis. I mean, I was in a generation in Mexico where there were so many good players, and I saw a lot of them like quitting. I even saw some of them go to college and almost lose their scholarships, and they were like one in the nation. But for me, it kind of gave me that balance, and I enjoy like doing things on my own, like in tennis, challenging myself, and skating was kind of like that way too, and it kept me in shape too. Believe it or not, you get really sore in all your body, so it's another way to get in shape.
Coach used to come to practice like every day and bring his video and be like, oh man, I did a sweet trick the night before, and then he would put it in like slow motion and everything, and so we'd spend about 10 minutes analyzing his skating videos before we jump on.
Okay. Oh, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Well, obviously, you guys have been an absolute delight to chat with for the last hour. It's hard to believe that it has been an hour. Time has absolutely flown by, and obviously, can't thank you guys enough for taking time out of your day. And alumni, congratulations on the great successes that you guys are having, Coach Harris, Coach Vargas. And even our current student athletes. We're excited to get you guys back on campus and get you guys back out on the court. And, really excited to watch you guys for sure. So if you guys will indulge me, like I said, I've got some quick fire questions. If you guys have 2 or 3 more minutes, I'd love to shoot these at you just to kind of leave our audience with some fun topics. And if you guys would be willing to, like I said, I'll just call on somebody and I'll shoot you a quick question and hit me up with a quick answer, okay? All right, here we go. So everybody should unmute here just so that we can keep it going just as quickly as we can. All right, we'll start with Tanya. Tanya, what is your most memorable tennis match that you've ever seen in person or on
TV? Most memorable match. I guess the only live match I watched professional was oh gosh,
We are off to a great start with this rapid
That
fire.
should have been an easy question.
I'll actually let me. Wow, I'm kind of off the hook now.
You can say TV as well. You can say that you watch in TV as well.
Yeah.
Okay, the most memorable match was last year when we clinched against
Huntsville.
Huntsville. Yeah, it was
Alabama
3-all,
Huntsville.
and Svenja, she was playing number 2, and she clinched the match and led us to the win.
Awesome. Francisco, your favorite tennis player of all time?
Rafael Nadal.
Easy enough. Easy enough. Hamina, your coolest playing tennis experience?
Oh, it was playing at a tournament in Sicilia, in Italy.
Wow. Wow. Nancy, an unrelated tennis question. What's your favorite vacation spot?
Oh, Barcelona.
Barcelona, beautiful, I'm sure. Rolando, Warhawks or Senators?
Ooh.
Warhawks cooler.
Nico, what is your most embarrassing tennis experience?
Wow. That's a tough one.
Nico.
Well, I had to say maybe like I remember we were playing doubles against Valdosta, and my partner was really angry. He was really angry at them. I think it was a team of Germans, and you can see that they were snickering at us in German. And I was telling like Miguel, chill, like just focus, stay focused, with one point at a time, don't get angry. And then we have a play goes on, and Miguel poaches, and then he poaches to the guy on the net, frames it, and hits him on the nose, and the guy starts bleeding all over the court. Yeah. So so I said, okay, are you done now? Can we can we stop it here? And then, well, we ended up winning, but I was like, come on, man, chill a little bit.
Kelly, what's your favorite sport to play other than tennis?
Ooh, I just like doing running. I just love running.
Very interesting. Michael, who was your funniest teammate?
Romy, for sure. The funniest guy. We were roommates my senior year. Rolando knows. Rolando and I know each other from before he was coaching. We played a few times, but Rolando knows Romy very well. So funny. So many one-liners.
Jair, favorite tennis major?
That's a tough one, but I will have to say the French Open.
Interesting. Kelly, back to you. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to go with Zac Efron.
I like it. Michael, iPhone or Android? iPhone. Nico, Rafa, Federer, or Djokovic?
I'm from Spain, man. Rafa all the way,
Set you up for that one, huh? Rolando, how would people describe you in one word?
Energetic.
I was going to say vamos. I was going to say
vamos too, yeah.
All right, Nancy, your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh. God, that's a tough one. I like to see my players keep their cool, and when they just like Nikki was saying, when someone loses their cool, then they can't see the court really well. So, yeah, that I don't care for that.
Composure, love it. Hamina, what's your biggest fear?
Fear of being in a tight spot, like the parking lots, and you are driving an SUV. I can't.
Remind me never to get in a parking deck. Understood. Got it. Francisco, what have you missed most doing during this whole pandemic?
Oof. I mean, I'm gonna say playing tennis because I haven't played in a really long time.
You did not hear that, Coach. You did not hear that. Tanya, best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Ooh. Oh, that's a hard one. Try to don't be scared, and if you think you'll regret it in the next couple of years.
Jair, what have you been binge watching during the quarantine?
I've been watching.
Binge watching, like something you've watched from start to finish?
I actually been watching a lot of tennis matches, like old, Grand Slams. You know, like the classic Nadal Federer. I watched the other day, Coria against Gaudio, that final in the French Open as well. Yeah, just watching that.
Awesome. One more for each of you. Tanya, do you have a hidden talent?
I can, I can say the names of all the 50 states in alphabetical order.
That is indeed a hidden talent. I like it.
Yeah.
Hamina, you're trapped on a deserted island, and you can only have two things. What are they?
Oh. Wow. Water and I would like to have a book and preferable. I would like to have a Bible.
Awesome. Francisco, you can only have one meal for the rest of your life. What is it?
I mean, but the type of food or in the
Whatever sounds good, man. I'm a big guy. I like to eat.
pasta?
Pasta. We'll take it. All right, Nancy, what's on your music playlist right now?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. I like a lot of classical music because my husband likes classical music. So.
My wife is a music teacher, so she went through college and knows all the classic artists. So that's awesome. Nico, what's your guilty pleasure, man?
My guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Probably video games and anime cartoons. I kind of like carry those since childhood. Yeah.
Like Michael, your go-to song at karaoke.
Oh, I told you karaoke. That's a terrible idea. Hard pass.
Okay. I'll give you option B. How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare.
There you go. Kelly, one more thing here for you. Well, I guess I'll give you the karaoke question. What's your go-to for karaoke?
Oh, I know Love the Way You Lie by Eminem, and I can rap the whole thing, so I'm pretty proud of it.
That is awesome. That is great. I love it. Last question I got for you, Rolando. As a head coach at Troy, do you say Vamos Trojans? Gosh, I thought that was a AUM exclusive.
We thought we were special, didn't we?
I love it. And Jair, close us out here. Give us your favorite joke.
I don't know. That's
You don't have any dad jokes? Come on, man.
I gotta get some dad jokes now, but I don't know. Like the thing with my jokes, I just thinking like on the way, like the Francisco and Tonya, they might tell you like sometimes I just say something.
They are
like,
horrible.
Yes, say something silly.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you guys again. I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us. I hope you all had as much fun as I did today. And we just appreciate everything that you guys have done to help build AUM tennis. And Tanya and Francisco obviously continue to build AUM tennis, Jair as well. We're excited to get you guys back on campus. We're excited to get back out and competing, and just really excited at this point to know that hopefully things are changing and heading in a positive direction for us. A couple of quick shout outs and then also a reminder, Jesse, Jesse mentioned to Francisco, fed as the GOAT. Also said that she is proud that Rolando only answered with one word when prompted. Marty Loverts chimed in to tell Nancy Harris hello, and Jacob Horton mentioned just an awesome job done by you guys again today. So thank you guys again. Hope that this is the first of many times that we can get together and stay in touch. And basically, again, thank you. As for next week, we will feature our men's basketball program, head coach Michael Chaney, as well as some of the legends from the men's basketball program. And we'll have another exciting hour with them. And until then, stay safe, everybody, and go Warhawks.
Go Warhawks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, everyone.